Thank you, everyone, for attending this. And thank you to Judge Grant and his team for all of the collaboration that we've had really since the beginning of the pandemic. And we are really grateful for it at DCA. And I really feel that we have the opportunity not only to address a lot of the challenges we have right now, but to help create a platform and a system that will work even better going forward. I wanted to talk about two things today. The first is some eviction protections that are available in the bill the governor signed yesterday, as well as rental assistance and assistance with arrears that's available through DCA. For the first, the eviction protections that are available, in the bill, it established that if residents self-certify for these protections, if there are residents who are middle income or below, and that's defined as less than 120% of their area median income, they are protected from eviction for any arrears that accrue during what's called the covered period, and that's March 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021. And in addition, can't be evicted for any non-payment of rent through August 31st, 2021. For those residents who are moderate, low, or very low income, they are eligible for additional protections if they also self-certify that they've applied for rental assistance and that they have experienced an economic impact from the COVID-19 crisis. And that is that in addition to the protection from being evicted for arrears accrued during the covered period, they also, if they miss rent in September, October, November, December of this year, they cannot be evicted for that as well. And their protection from eviction for non-payment through December 31st. And so January 1st, 2022 would be when they could first be evicted. And so in order to do this, what the legislation calls for is a self-certification by the tenant. Without that certification, then those tenants don't have that protection. And as we talk about this, it refers to things like area median income, which is not really something people know just off the top of their heads, off the back of the chart. So what we've created is a tool that's available to help people determine if they may be eligible for these protections and to help generate a self-certification form that they file with their landlords, and then also if they're in an eviction proceeding with the courts. This is available online, and it's basically a simple tool that asks a few questions. It asks about where you live and your contact information. It asks about the size of your household, because that is part of the how we determine area median income, and it asks about how much money that you make. And basically I should have started with this, but to summarize a little bit, area median income is basically the median income in the area in which you live. So the different income levels are set based on what people make in the area in which you live. And most of our areas are the same as counties. And so what you will do if you self-certify for this tool, if you self-certify, if you are also below 80% and you self-certify that you've experienced an economic impact from COVID and that you've applied for rental assistance, then you are also eligible for the extended eviction protections. Once you do that, once you answer these questions, the form will generate a letter, a self-certification form that we ask you to review and make sure that it says, that those are accurate, the things that you stated are accurate. You type your name to sign it, again, certifying that it's accurate under penalty of perjury. And then if you have a pending eviction case and you go and you know your docket number, you can enter that, and then the form will automatically be sent to the court, and then you will give it to your landlord yourself. It will be emailed to you. You can also print out a copy, and you will give it to your landlord yourself. If you're not in a pending eviction case, you give it to your landlord right away, and then you can hold on to it. Now, some people might not have access to the internet, or they might have access but have questions about this, whether just questions in general or a question about the process or a question specifically about the form when you get there. So what we've done there is we've set up a call-in number where you can ask questions, or you can actually file it right over the phone. You can give the information, you can certify it over the phone, and then it will, if you don't have an email address, it will be mailed to you so that you have a copy that you can give to your landlord and that you can keep for your records. And that number is 609-490-4550. And the best way to access the website is to go to nj.gov/DCA, and you'll see a link there for Are You Protected? Are you a renter who needs protection from eviction? And we really stress people, we really want people to go and file this self-certification as soon as possible. Even if you don't have an eviction case pending, we want to get those self-certifications in, because you are not, you're not protected if you don't file that information. I'm going to repeat the number again. We'll also put it in the chat. It's also available on our website too, and on the self-certification website. It's 609-490-4550. And as I said, it's right up on our website. If you go to the website and go to the page for this, you will also see FAQs. So there are a bunch of questions there. It does things like explain the different area median income levels, helps you understand what protections are there, answers just some of the questions that, you know, we anticipate people might have. And we go ahead, and if people have more questions, we'll add them there too. And so you can go to our website and follow the link for the income self-certification form. It's available in English and in Spanish. And again, the best way to go is to nj.gov/DCA. The second thing I wanted to talk about a bit is rental assistance that's available for landlords and tenants. Because while what this form does is it can provide a protection from being evicted for arrears accrued during a certain period, that money is still owed to the landlord. It becomes civil debt. So it's not as if this money is forgiven, it is still owed. Someone who files and is eligible for this protection just can't be evicted for it. But we do want to do our best to make sure that the rent gets paid. So DCA has an existing program funded by federal funds that we call CVRAP2. And again, you can go to nj.gov/DCA, and there's a link to apply for this assistance. The initial pre-application is very simple. It asks you for some contact information, some information about your household, some information about your rent. It asks if you've experienced an impact from COVID. It asks, do you need arrears paid? Do you need future rent paid? So maybe you've been able to pay your rent, but now you can't, and you can't keep going. So you need help paying your future rent, or do you need both? And so you can click any one of those. And you can file that information. And then what we are doing is every day we draw what we call a lottery. We go in and we draw according to preferences from everyone who's in the pool. And we contact people and ask them for some additional information that we need to process their application, including information that's available about your landlord, so that we can make a check or we can make an electronic payment. And you can apply as a tenant on your own behalf, or if you're a landlord and your tenant gives permission, you can apply on behalf of your tenant. So, and then the payment is made directly to the landlord, except in a few cases. And one thing to remember is that in New Jersey, we don't allow discrimination by source of income. So landlords are required to accept these funds and to participate in the process. And if there's a case where a landlord doesn't, one of the things that we do is we do call landlords and kind of explain the requirements, explain what they're required to do. But in a rare case where a landlord might not want to participate or isn't, we have the ability to make a payment directly to the tenant, who can then use that to directly pay the landlord. That's not the first option, of course, is always to try and pay the landlord. But if we need to, we can go ahead and make that payment. And we actually have done that in a few cases. So there is always that available if we need to get there. We do a lot of work every single day with our call center. The number I gave before is the same as the number for the self-certification. You can call there. And if you have questions about the process, you can ask them. And if you don't have internet access or you're not comfortable using the internet, you can make your application right there over the phone. So that's available, and that call center is staffed in English and in Spanish. And we have access to translation for 8 other languages as well. And the materials are available in 10 languages. So people will have access to that. And what we really would encourage everyone to do, if anyone has missed rent or is in danger of missing rent, is go to the website, do the self-certification form. And the self-certification, you just go online, you answer a few questions, and then you don't have to upload any documents. It's a self-certification. You sign it and you can print it out and you can give it to your landlord, save it for your records. Then there's that protection. And then you can go ahead and click on the button to apply for CVRAP, for rental assistance. And we have, from the federal government, we've received an allocation of first 353 million. Then we received an allocation for another 272 million. In terms of funding we've sent out in the past year for COVID-related funds, we've sent out over $250 million in assistance to help people stay in their homes and assisted 30,000 households, and more every single day. We're doing more and more every single day. People can apply. We don't require documentation to apply. That's not something we ask for. And we are working every day to notify people, and we can get these funds out as quickly as we get a full application in. So when we contact you, make sure that you get back to us as quickly as possible. And if you have any questions or you're not sure, you don't have a document, go ahead and call us so we can help you. We do check runs every week. So we are going ahead and every week we send out checks to landlords. We've done payments for more than 30,000 at this point, and we'll continue to do that. The other good news I want to throw in is that in the bill that was signed yesterday, it allocated another $500 million for arrears and for forward rental assistance. We're going to use the same application portal and process to go ahead and apply for that. So if you've already applied for CVRAP 2, you've already applied for these funds. If you haven't, you just go and it's one application and you apply for it. So we're really, really excited to be able to have these resources available to people, because we know there are a lot of people in need right now. And we are doing our very best to get this money out as easily and as quickly as possible. And I just want to encourage everyone to encourage people to self-certify that form so they can get protection from eviction, and to go ahead and apply for rental assistance so we can pay landlords, we can get rent paid, both arrears and future rent, and ensure as many people as possible are able to stay in their homes. So just want to encourage people to do that and to call our number or to email in or go to the website for any questions. And I think that will end it for me right now.